That's right, boys and girls. Welcome to Great Britain and Silverstone for round whatever this is of the Co-op Championship, the F1 2013 Co-op Championship. My name is NillisLukins. Welcome to my homeland. I'm very excited for this. I'm gonna shut that up now because that's a bit loud. Hello everyone. Yes, my name is NillisLukins, my co-op partner, and my fellow Great Britain, Kptk92 is here. Hi Kerry, how are you?
Why did you stop it? You can't just do that.
I can. It's right. Okay, viewers. So basically, I have it on my iPhone. It was on my iPhone, and it was really loud on my iPhone, and I could barely hear myself talk. So
I was all stood up and everything.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, you can continue to stand up. I mean, you never know. That might actually help me out in a race if you continue to stand up. So
I think that's an appropriate handicap that we've not brought up yet. So
okay, obligatory teammate challenge mention. NillisLukins is still being murdered. Brought to you by Mark Neville. Let's have a look at the grid, shall we? Yeah, we Chilton and Van der Gaard got through into Q2. There's something weird going on. We think because we're retiring from qualifying rather than voting to end the session, we think that might have something to do with it. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Chilton and Van der Gaard made their way into Q2. We'll go on to that in a minute. Rosberg on pole. So Hamilton is not doing a job in front of his home crowd. Hopefully Kerry and I can make up for that.
To be fair, we didn't have that good a qualifying either.
Well, we didn't have a qualifying, so that settles that. Alonso was P2, Massa out there in 4th. That's a good job. Fair play him. The Red Bull's not having too good a weekend so far. Then there's Raikkonen and the overpowered man, Grosjean. So this is where the names come into it. Kerry, you ready? So we got overpowered man, Grosjean, Di Resta, Sutao, Maldonado, Gutierrez, Ricciardo, Van der Gay, Moneybags, Bottas, Vergner. I think we just said Bianchi for him. I think Pitch or Peach or something. I don't know.
Frick.
Or no, we can't say that. That's not nice. NillisLukins and girls name 92. So
I will say though that the rest he must have started every single race so far in 10th. I don't think there's one race so far where I've looked at the grid and not said the rest is in 10th.
You might be, yeah, you might be right. I mean, it is. We've said it is. Normally, the top 6 is normally the 2 Ferraris, Red Bulls, and Mercedes, and then 7th is normally Raikkonen. 8th normally the overpowered man, 9th normally Grosjean, and then, like I say, Di Resta, and then it all just kind of kicks off from there after that. Yeah, so that's the grid. I'm just going to very quickly run through the setup just so that everyone can clearly see. Yes, we are still using the default all the way down the middle engineer setup, and let's go, shall we?
Interestingly, my team have actually put me on prime tyres for this race, so I don't know what they've got in store, but we'll go with it anyway. Because
you're going to go with it?
Who knows what the guys in the war room have drawn up this time, but let's see what happens.
That's interesting that you've gone for it anyway.
It never even occurred to me that I was on the prime tyre as well. I just looked at the tyres, was like, yep. And then when I actually looked at the race strategy, it said that I was going in on like lap 8 or something. I was going, that's a bit long, isn't it, into the race? But let's see what we can do. An interesting strategy.
I'm sure I was pitting lap 7 with my options. So
yeah,
that's a bit weird.
Let's see what we can do. I'm in cockpit view again for some reason.
So am I, interestingly.
Let's see what we can do. Silverstone, awesome circuit. So let's have a great race to match.
Toying with the idea of going in the offset C-cam, but we're not going to because the 5 lights are up, and we're now going. So we'll stick with what we normally have.
Okay, I forgot my turning point there. I thought I could turn in at 50, but I couldn't.
Super passive into the first major braking point. Oh, and now we've just tapped Vern. And yeah, obviously.
It was free wide going into that corner, so.
Okay, I didn't realise that. But guess what, Kerry?
Go on. You got a penalty?
I got a penalty.
I said that as a half joke, thinking that, I don't know.
Good job. Nice overtaking.
Excellent. Well done now.
I'm afraid it is absolutely legit.
With every mistake and error that you do, we lose viewers. People don't want to watch one person driving through anymore and one person consistently at the back.
I don't know, I'm not sure that's right. I'm sure people tune in just for the lols of seeing me fail. Oh, get out of the way, Van der Gaard, for fuck's sake.
Van der Gaard trying to take revenge on the other McLaren because of your error.
Is he going to dive bomb me? He is.
You're taking your
I'm
drive
going to pit this lap, so don't get in my way. I wonder actually if they've done the pit limiter properly. No, they haven't. See, so the pit limiter is 62 mph. I'm pretty sure it should be less than that. So as a result, if I'm going to have a drive through anywhere, and this is a pretty good track to have it in, because you cut off the last 2 corners of well, the last 3 corners even of the circuit, of the lap.
Stay clear of the white line. We don't want
And I'm now only just a tiny bit behind Vern, rather than potentially a dozen seconds. So I haven't actually lost that much time.
Really need to have a good opening stint on these tyres and maximise every single lap, because it'll be a big chase in the final few stages. I think just need to prepare myself for a good couple of laps at the end. I'm always worried that the AI will try and put you on the grass there. Looking behind while going through Cop's corner, because I'm just a crazy bastard.
Yeah, I'm down to pit lap 6, and you're down to pit lap 8. So that's interesting.
That's medium and hard tyres, so there's no real. Freeway scrap going on ahead of me at Stowe.
So we've caught up quite handily to.
He's up the inside in the club. The crowd go berserk. You can't beat Silverstone for atmosphere.
Oh, Vern.
Cannot beat it. Rocking him with the fastest lap, interestingly.
Hi, Vern. Yes, I am here. Idiot.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you're within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Just about got it done. Yep. So that's 2 cars passed in 1 braking zone now. Not bad.
You wonder why you get drive-throughs for ridiculous driving.
That was completely legit. Don't know what you're on about. Oh, let me vet Chilton.
You were saying?
Yeah. Well, you know, it ain't my fault he's really slow.
Well, you should anticipate that he's going to be very slow. He is Max Chilton driving one of the slowest cars on the grid.
All those money bags that he's got in the cockpit, just weighing him down. Carrying that ballast.
Meanwhile, they got in the McLaren, we've got someone's brain weighing them down. I.e. you.
So what you're saying is I've got a very big brain, which means I'm very smart. So that's very kind of you to say so, Kerry.
Well, I wish you could apply some of it to your racing car.
Idiot. So this is my first clean lap, and it's well over a second off the fastest lap, which Raikkonen set. So that's
Back
good.
of these guys. If I can clear these before the hit stops all commence. The leading pack have gone already. I'm struggling just a touch.
Tell a lie, actually, my previous lap wasn't necessarily a clean lap because I was overtaking and hitting money bags. So Go around the outside of Van der Gaard at Woodcut.
You're now in 17th.
So we're now up to 17th and ahead of all the new guys.
Bit deep into Stowe, but we keep it on the island, and it's all kicking up front.
So where are you right now?
P11.
Not too bad, considering you got the supposed faster tyre yet to run.
See if you can pass him.
Someone's pitting already. One of the back markers.
Track is so wide here, you can kind of brake late and still have enough track to stay on.
Oh, we locked up there. That's not good.
Alright, there's a Lotus in this pack, so here we go. Constructors Championship immediately comes to the front of the mind. There's a lift off there. The rest is going to turn in, I can feel it. Because naturally, because he's on the racing line, he thinks that he has right away, even though I'm on his inside there. Should make light work of him though.
So while I've got a bit of clean air, I think this is probably a decent time to mention that this is something of an experiment, really, this race, isn't it? Because for those of you who did see, we uploaded a Q&A video before we started Season 2 of this championship. And that was set to the backdrop of us doing a 100% race here against Legend AI and in the same cars. And yeah, like I said, that was a 100% race, and we were, you know, we were quicker than the AI. At our slowest, we were matching the fastest AI, but for most of the race, we were, I would say, comfortably faster. Now, there was a bit of a theory going on about how potentially the AI drivers don't feel the tyre wear so much. Particularly in 25%, where the scaling is just unbelievable. So my theory is, if we're not proven to be at least as quick as the AI, preferably if not quicker than the AI, in a 25% race here, then maybe that does give the theory, you know, a bit of strength in the sense that the AI don't suffer from tyre wear in the shorter race distances as we pass Bottas into Cops, as long as we don't run wide, which we just about managed not to. So yeah, so I'll be interested to see how our lap times compare to those right at the front of the pack, Kerry, because there are some arguments. I know, Kerry, you mentioned it in passing a couple of times about potentially the AI not feeling the tyre wear as much. So yeah, we'll see. There's a bit of front wing missing there as two cars do battle in Stowe. I'm going to dive into the pits, I think, because it's my scheduled lap.
Oh, this is the period which matters now. I think I might come in there, or this lap. Oh, now that explains why people are getting faster laps, because they're going into the pits. I thought
exactly.
Vettel was still out on circuit.
Exactly. That just confirms what I said a moment ago about my drive-through not costing me too much time.
Alright, so second place Webber, 5 seconds up the road. And I'm about to go onto the faster tyre.
Be aware, we think the car behind is trying to save fuel.
I want to know, well, I want to get in as soon as possible and check my pace against them at the front, because I would like to get a podium at this race.
Try to keep this pace. This is what we need right now.
So that was a pretty solid stop for me. I actually gained a bit of time on these guys in front of me, Sue Till, and I don't know who's in front of him. Looks like it's a Sauber, maybe. In which case that's going to be the overpowered man, because Gutierrez was in front of me and didn't pit. So I've actually gained some time, so I could also gain some positions, perhaps.
Okay, I'm fairly sure the AI are quite casual going into the pit lane as well, so that's even more time gained.
Yeah, that one might be where I gained the time then.
Got held up a little bit by the Lotus, but that's not too bad. Right ahead of all the other immediate traffic. And now it just depends on where we end up.
So have you come in the lap early then?
Yeah, because I want to maximise the time on the option tyre rather than just staying out for the sake of it.
Yeah, I've jumped quite a lot of cars actually. I'm now in 13th place and I'm going to go out the inside of Sutil for 12th if he doesn't drive into me. He's kept at the inside, which put me off, and so I ran a little wide. So that wasn't particularly helpful. But yeah, up to P13, so I could still get points.
Behind the pole sitter Nico Rosberg at the moment, who's in P5. So I did jump the other Lotus, Kimi Raikkonen, in that period of pit stops.
Bit of curves will see me fly past Util because they don't use curves down here by the looks of it.
I hate the AI spatial awareness, it makes me think that I'm driving dirty, but
yeah,
that was a nice move on Rosberg going into Maggots Beckett.
We're now right on the back of Maldonado for a potential 11th place. DRS is getting me down. Am I going to be alongside into the corner? Not quite, no. Apparently doing that in the wrong gear. There's a Ferrari in front of me, which presumably can only be Massa. Having to lift off because I was catching Maldonado just before the turn in for turn 1. Oh, we've gone deep again, but that's okay because it means that we'll get the inside for turn 2 this time, unlike with Sutil last lap.
Now what I found in these races I've done at Silverstone so far is that the AI are particularly good through sector 1. In career mode they're kind of matching me in a Red Bull, but then these two sectors and around the rest of the lap is where we can make significant ground on these guys. So as you can see, already on the back of Webber there, when I was 1.5 behind him down the straight at the start of the lap.
Just realised I haven't gone into Rich yet, and I've got a bit of fuel left over, so let's do that now. Probably could have done that a few laps ago, but in saying that, that's a great corner cut. Now that I've got clean air, it's probably a more appropriate time to use it now.
These guys not far up the road, so the belief is still there. We can get a top result here.
And it's Massa ahead of me as well, so who's in P10, and then P9's a bit down the road. I think I'll be ambitious to say that I'll get anything better than 10th. Considering there's 4 laps to go now across the line. .2 is the gap to Massa. Let's see how that changes over the next few sectors. Oh, apparently I did that all in 3rd gear, which is interesting. That would have lost me a bundle load of time. Yep, 0.6 of a second I lost to Massa there.
There's not much between you and the car behind, just 2 seconds.
But as Kerry says, they are quite quick in the first sector, so maybe I can gain some of that back over the rest of the lap.
Consistently purple, but because I pitted and set the fastest lap on my pit stop, no way I'm setting the fastest lap. So
Yeah, the
from you
gap's gone
guys.
down to Massa by a couple of tenths in that sector. It's not really quick enough though at the moment.
Making big progress though on the podium runners there.
It's a bit of a change of tack for you. You very. I don't think you ever even start on the prime side, do you? You've always been a strong advocate of starting on the faster option side.
Well, if I'm honest, I would if I wasn't put onto it by the game, I wouldn't have done it. So,
Oh, so did you not even realise before you pressed start?
well, I checked the race strategy, and like I mentioned, the team just put me on. Wanted me to start on that tyre, so. And I was just like, yeah, okay. Oh, went up 2 gears.
There's only 4 seconds
Yeah,
gap between you
and
the car ahead. Keep
it's worked
moving.
out. I knew I had pace at Silverstone anyway, regardless of what I'd be starting on. But this is working out quite nicely. Hamilton's so far up the road now, so the race win might be out of the question. But second is in touching distance.
Well, that's great news for the British fans that Hamilton's leading the way.
I think it's Hamilton anyway.
We advise mix 2. Mix 2. We're comfortable at the moment.
Oh, this is depressing. The gap to Massa is not coming down.
Maldonado's behind you. He's 5
Oh
seconds
no,
away.
I've been hampered by the fuel mixture. 2 to go, and I'm a second behind third place. The podium is nearly there. Vettel looks like he's holding Alonso up, really.
It looks like it might be the overpowered man is just ahead of Massa, and it might just be a DRS that he's getting, which is why Massa's pulling away. I hope so, anyway. But at least they might get into a bit of a battle now, which might give me half a chance potentially.
Option tyres now, of course, past their best, but they're still in relatively good shape. The rear tyres look the best out of the lot, actually.
We're 5 seconds down on Massa.
Just that front left getting destroyed by all these fast corners.
Oh, Massa's streaking away from me now out of absolutely nowhere.
Stowe is so open there, and we're up to P2.
It's going to be a Britain 1-2.
Hamilton is there, but he is in striking distance, but only if I had an extra lap or so. 2.5 down the road he is. We've got 1 to go. I have done everything I can. And it's the one I wanted to get a good result at as well, so I'm happy with this. Unless Hamilton has an absolute nightmare here and thinks that he's got it in the bag. What a great circuit.
It's very good fun to drive, I have to say.
Crowd are on their feet. I've been here many times, so I've experienced the last lap where the crowd are so appreciative. So here comes Hamilton. It's going to be a win for a Brit at Silverstone. And it's the second place. Yeah. Nice one. every lap was just awesome fun at Silverstone. Always is.
And I miss out on points again, which is a function of the drive-through, we have to say, really. Without that, I should have been in the fight for the points, definitely. So there we go then. So it is a British 1-2. Lewis Hamilton taking a win over Kerry by only 1.5 seconds. That those faster lap times are obviously very deceiving. Let's see actually what. No, I didn't want to do that. Why have I done
continue.
that?
You're a knob.
Why have I done that?
Okay, so thanks to Neil's brain fart there. Well done, Neil. I've had to just quickly grab the screenshots, and we're just going to quickly review the results real quick. So we've managed to get a couple of the results. So well done, Neil, for this completely organised approach. But regardless, Lewis Hamilton takes the victory, followed by myself, 1.5 behind. Sebastian Vettel completes the podium. Fernando Alonso loses points to me for the first time since Malaysia, I think. So top result for myself there. So Mark Webber, Kimi Räikkönen, Nico Rosberg, Roman Grosjean, Lotus boys still in the points still. Nico Hulkenberg, Felipe Massa rounds out the top 10. Neil, as you mentioned, your drive-through ultimately costing you at least a point there. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes for you in future. No errors or anything. Let's see what happens if things actually all go right in one race for you. We look at the bottom of the grid. Maldonado, Sutil, Gutierrez, Paul di Resta drops places. Ricciardo, Bottas, John Eric Byrne, Van der Garde, Bianchi, Peak, and Max Chilton, who got into Q2, actually came last. So well done to Max there on his British race debut, online debut. Let's call it that. And let's see how that result affects the championship standings. Lewis Hamilton is now the championship leader. He takes over the reins from Fernando Alonso. It's very much Hamilton's game at the moment. Alonso second, Vettel third. I've jumped up to fourth, 68 points down though on the championship lead. So, but we're back in fourth, which for me is good news. Nico Rosberg and Mark Webber seem to be my imminent rivals and the ones I need to keep an eye on really. They're fifth and sixth respectively. Felipe Massa and then the two Lotus boys, Grosjean actually ahead of Räikkönen, which is quite interesting considering Räikkönen kind of starts a lot of the races ahead of Grosjean, so overpowered man, still racking up the points. And meanwhile, still on 9 points, it's NillisLukins. So, how do you feel about that, Neil? That race?
Well, yeah, the drive-through ruined it. I mean, I still the reason why I had my brain fart was because I was trying to have a look at the lap times in reference to the investigation that I was on about earlier on, just to see how we were lap time wise, and obviously I balls that up. So now we'll never really probably know the answer. Although from my perspective, I was losing time to Massa in that final stint, whereas I was definitely quicker than. Well, pretty much everyone apart from Kerry in a 100% race. So that might go some way to explaining something, maybe, I don't know. But the one thing I will say, actually, is I'm not losing ground. I'm not losing places in the standings, I should say. Because apart from when people lose front wings and that sort of thing, it's always the same 10 drivers in the points. So I've lost a lot of ground to the bottom of that pack of 10, but I'm not. The bright side is that I'm not losing any places other than that.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to lose any places though, to be honest, because these are the guys above you. You're not actually ahead of anyone that you meant to be racing. You're kind of at the bottom of that top group, really. So
yes. But so yes, there we go. So that's not very good. I'll quickly round out the Constructor Championship.
Yeah, seeing as we can't see the bottom of the drivers. So.
Seeing as we can't see the bottom of the drivers. Mercedes lead the way, 217 points still. And I think pulling away actually from Red Bull a little bit there. Ferrari still 1 point behind, so that's still fascinating. That's a very tight scrap. And what's also a very tight scrap is the one for fourth, which Kerry is winning. By virtue of the fact that I've scored 9 solitary points. If I was pulling my finger out, then we would really be challenging the top 3 perhaps. But as it is, we are just about in front of Lotus by 1 point, and then Sauber are a nice little way behind that, and then there's Force India and Toro Rosso and Williams with the scraps. So that wraps it up. So next we go where, Kerry?
We stay in Europe. We're at the German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring this time around. We were at Hockenheim last season, but we're at the famous Nürburgring this time around. So I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully we've got a bit of momentum on our side there after that race that's just happened. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that really. So yeah, no mistakes from you, Neil. Next time, please.
That's the plan, certainly. Yeah.
Great. So an error-free NillisLukins and Kptk92. We'll see you there at the Nürburgring. Thank you very much for watching and for your continued patience as we try and get towards the front.